So I think the Roth IRA is literally one of the best financial assets out there, and I highly recommend it for most people. Now, if you don't know exactly how to open up an account, what it is, how it works, and what the benefits actually are, I'm going to cover that in this video. By the way, I've had a Roth IRA. I've never taken any money out, and I've only had it for about 4 years, but it's actually done pretty good for me. And in this video, I'm going to tell you if I'm going to take money out, and if I do take money out, why and how would I actually go about it. Now, the very first thing, guys, is that you need to know that a Roth IRA is just an individual retirement account that you actually invest into with after-tax dollars. Now, what that actually means is when you actually get paid, and Uncle Sam took all the money, right, already, so you get paid net, right, which you actually got. You can actually grab that money, invest it into a Roth IRA. It's just a type of account, by the way. You still have to pick your investments within it. You can actually have that money in there. It grows tax-free. And when you actually sell it and you take the money out, you don't pay any taxes, okay? That's the cool thing. However, though, that does not mean that today I just bought Tesla. And I bought Tesla for $1. And tomorrow I sold Tesla for $10. Wow, I made a lot of money. So I'm going to go ahead and sell it and I don't have to pay any taxes. The answer is no. You have to wait 5 years. Then after that 5-year period, you can take that contribution basically out. That is the idea. So your earnings, you have to wait 5 years, but you can always take your contribution out without any penalties. But if you take the money out, the earnings before that 5-year period, the answer is you will be subject to a penalty and you will have to pay taxes on that money. It's not like you go to jail, it's just a penalty. But I don't recommend it because you miss out on so much benefits. So that's exactly what a Roth IRA is. The opposite of a Roth IRA is going to be just a normal IRA, a normal individual retirement account, and this actually uses pre-tax dollars because what the money you actually invest, they're going to allow you to deduct it from your taxes, and that way it grows tax-free. And at the end, when you're forced to take money out, that's when you pay taxes. But with a Roth, you pay taxes now and you never pay taxes ever again. And that's what I love about it, because you're going to need all your money when you're older. You don't want to worry about taxes then. That's the whole idea. Now, how much money can you actually invest into a Roth IRA? It goes up almost every single year. Well, not almost every single year. And right now, it's up to about, if I'm not mistaken, about $6,500 that you can actually, well, yeah, $6,500. And if you're above 50 years old, you can actually do catch up, and that's going to be $7,500 you can actually invest. Okay, so that is pretty cool. And then for next year is going to be $7,000 and then $8,000 for the older folks. That's the whole idea. Now that basically means that that's the amount of money you can actually invest. There is a cap, okay, because the government obviously wants to promote you actually investing for your future and actually saving you money on taxes, but at the same time, they care about taxes and they want to make their money. So there is a certain limit. So you can invest $6,500 this year, next year $7,000, and so on and so on and so on. If you do this correctly, it's not like you're gonna say, well, I want to invest more to make more money. The answer is great, but this is just one avenue, okay? One avenue of investing. So if you want to invest more money, you could always just invest more money via a normal brokerage account, but that account, whenever you sell, you're going to pay taxes because there is no tax benefit on that. Now, I've told you exactly what a Roth IRA is, what the benefits actually are, and when you can take money out. If you don't remember that, that's going to be, you can take contributions out whenever you want. So if I invest today $100, I can take my $100 tomorrow. But if my $100 made me $110 and I take that money out, I'm going to have a penalty on that $10 profit. If I wait 5 years, I can take out the full amount. That's the idea. And if I'm not mistaken, every single amount you put in is going to have that 5-year clock. So this year I invested $6,000 basically. That's 5 years on those profits. If I invested another $5,000, for example, the following year, that's another 5 years to wait for that money to actually mature so I can take the money out, okay? So you have to remember that. It's not like, well, I have $100K I've invested across 5 years and I can take out the whole $100K with all the profits. No, okay? Only the money that actually made that profit at that 5-year mark totality, okay? That's the idea. Now, how do you go about actually opening up a Roth IRA? The answer is it's a lot more simple than you actually think. Now, the company I actually use, I'm not sponsored by them, at all, and I don't make any money. And I'm actually going to recommend 3 companies, just so you know this, okay? I recommend Fidelity, I recommend Schwab's or Charles Schwab, and then I also recommend Vanguard. The company I use right now is actually Vanguard. Vanguard is massive. It's been around for a long time, over 100 years if I'm not mistaken, and has over $9 trillion in assets. And yes, they have insurance just like all the big 3 I basically mentioned before, but the idea is you really want a company that's massive and big, also has low fees, and has great customer service. And all 3 of these have great customer service. They're big and they know what they're actually doing, okay? They have a big history and also a great track record. Now, I use Vanguard, so I'm gonna show you how to do it on Vanguard, but any company is basically the same. Everything is simple because everyone wants your money basically. So you go over to Vanguard, for example, and you scroll down, and right here where it says personal investor, you click on that, and right here, is going to basically allow you to actually open up an account. Right here where it says open account, just click open account. And by the way, there is an easier way to do this. Just type it on Google, Vanguard Roth IRA, and it'll basically take you there. But I'm doing it like the long way, just in case you run into any issues. And right here where it says I'm new to Vanguard, click sign up. You're going to need a social security number, obviously, and your information to verify everything. And right here where it says, by the way, open up a new account with money from my bank. That's it, to open up a Roth IRA. However, though, if you have a 401k and you want to roll that over into your Roth IRA, you're going to have to pay the taxes and then you roll over the amount, okay? Which is actually a good benefit because in reality, you roll that over, you pay that tax today, but then that money is going to grow tax-free forever, okay? That's the idea. And right here, you click open up a new account, click continue. You want to do it on your own or with advisors. I do everything on my own because my investment method is very simple. And then where it says here, select your account right here. By the way, here's what you need, okay? To open up an account, you need to be a permanent U.S. resident or, for example, a citizen. You need to have an employer address if applicable, and you also need a security number, a social security number, okay? That's the general idea. They have very low fees. This is very important, you know, okay? And if you want to invest, for example, into mutual funds / index funds, I have a whole video on that. Some of them have, for example, minimum requirement investments of $3,000, but because you are opening up with a retirement account, you can basically still invest into it without having to worry about that minimum investment, which is actually great. But let's keep up this video right here. So click right here where it says select your account, and you're going to click right here where it says retirement, and you're going to click right here, who is the account for? It's going to be for myself. And click the type of account. Do you want a Roth IRA, a traditional brokerage IRA, or for example, a one-person brokerage SEP? Usually employers do this type of stuff. But for this case, it's going to be a Roth IRA, obviously. So click select, and then boom. You just have to click continue, and it's going to start asking you, if I'm not mistaken here, for a lot of your information. And that's basically it, okay? And you just follow the guide, and you'll basically get there. Now, that's how you basically open up a Roth IRA. It's not that complicated. You can literally do it in less than 10 minutes. Now you're probably wondering, Tommy, okay, I know what a Roth is. Now, what should I invest into? By the way, don't commit this mistake. I've heard these stories before where people open up an account, they send money over there, and they just sit and wait. And they're like, why is my money not growing? I don't understand this. You still have to select your investments. Now, the investment that I have is called the S&P 500. It's a mutual fund or / an index fund. That's what it basically is, because mutual funds are just, index funds are just another type of mutual funds. But if you want to invest into it, you can invest into it via Vanguard or Fidelity or Schwab. They all have their versions of the S&P 500. It's the 500 largest companies in the US. It's divided across like 11 sectors right now. It's big, it's massive, and it's the only investment I basically have. It's more than enough when it comes to diversification, at least for me, and that's why I basically use it. But the point is, you select your investments and you put your money into it. Now, here's some more advice, okay? If you're working with an employer and your employer is offering you free money, right? If you invest this much, Tommy, up to $3,000, I'm gonna give you $3,000 in match, okay? So I get $3,000 basically of free money. Now, do I do that or do I do the Roth IRA? The answer is you get all the free money possible from your employer because you basically get to double your money instantly for free. And if you have money left over, then you can put that money into your Roth IRA. Now, if you're able to max out what your employer gives you plus what your Roth IRA limit is, which right now is about like $6,500, right? And you still have money left over, then if you want to, you can open up a brokerage, like a normal brokerage account, and invest that money for taxable gains. But that's fine because it's still going to make you more money in the future. Now, you can have two accounts, by the way. You can have in one Vanguard account, you can have, for example, several accounts, a Roth, you can have a normal IRA, and you can also have a taxable account. I have literally all three in my Vanguard account, okay? Vanguard does have an app. They have great customer service. You will be in good hands. At least right now, currently, because I can't guarantee the next 100 years, but the past 100 years, they have been doing great. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope it actually helps you. Do me a favor and smash the like button so that way more people know exactly how to open up a Roth IRA, how it works, and what the details actually are. The reason I love the Roth so much is just because I'd rather pay the taxes today. So when I'm like 60 or like 70 years old and I want to take the money out, I can take out all the money and it can all be mine. But if you're 60 and you have $1 million, guess what? You might have to pay taxes like on like 20-30% on that, okay? So now you have a lot less money than you actually need. So that's why I don't do that. I'd rather pay tax today and take care of my future self in the future, okay? Thanks for watching. Peace. Long-term team out. Subscribe to this channel.